Welcome back to another video, guys. So yeah, today we have got a few things to do. We're just working on Rita today. The wheels have come up really nice after all the lacquer. So we've got them just there. Basically I've just put them here, get them out of the way of working on the back of the car. But they've had 2 to 3 coats of lacquer. So they're really good, looking really nice. Just got to get some wheels mounted to them now and then they'll be all done. And then, yeah, like I say, I'm working on Rita today. And what I need to do is, obviously we've got these holes here that are in the back of the boot lid. That's for the rear light and the washer. So what we're going to do is going to flush these off, and how to do that is, you need something obviously quite structurally sort of strong that's behind it. So what we'll do is, we'll get a plate made up, stick it behind here, and seal it in. And then what you do is you come in with some like body filler, and you just basically fill that void, but you'll have something solid on the other side so that the body filler can't crack and move about and fill about, basically, well, sort of move around and crack in that sort of space. And then the same with that one as well, just a small plate behind it, just to reinforce the Bondo that's going over the top of this. And then we'll just sand that down, sand it smooth, and just keep using a skim of filler just to get that smooth and blended in, and then there should hopefully be no holes left. So I'm going to cut the plates up. I've got some leftover brackets here that are just knocking about, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut it across here. I've got like 10 or 20 of these, and yeah, these will be pretty good. They're nice and strong, they're not too thin, they're not too thick either. You don't want something too bulky behind there, but something that's not going to flex too much. So we've got a few of these, and then I'm just going to put one of those behind the small hole, and then I'm going to have to use about 3 of these and sort of tie them together on the slightly bigger hole, because I don't have anything that'll do the whole thing in one piece. I do have some of this here which I'm quite tempted to use because it'll be a lot easier, but the problem is with the holes being in it, it just allows that filler to sort of fall through and crack a bit, and then it will leave little like round divots in the Bondo as it goes along the back of it. So we may or may not use this. I could use this as well and put the plates behind it, because I would like the main plate to be in one piece so it's more solid, and then just reinforce the back of that with some more plates. So that could be a possibility. I might go down that road. So we'll have to see, but I need to make some templates up and go from there, basically. And then obviously cut these down. So it's going to get a bit loud. Obviously I won't record it because it'll probably be too loud for the camera, so you don't really want to listen to a bit of angle grinding. And I'll show you when I'm done. One plate all cut, all done. Just takes a couple of seconds. And yeah, we're going to go for this smaller hole first. So we've just got this one here, and then what I'm going to do is obviously put that in the back there, and just put that there. And then what I'll do is, because that's sitting on there like that and it has to sit in that position, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark that with a pen, take the plate off, and then I'll know exactly where I need to like put the, or probably tiger seal, things like that, so it doesn't come through the hole. So it'll be nice and smooth to put the filler on top of that as well. So yeah, what we do is we'll get a Sharpie. So just get a black Sharpie or something like that, and then I'll try and put you guys there. Like I say, we'll just put the plate behind, put that into position so it's nice and even in the hole, and then we'll just mark where the plate's going to be, and we'll take that back off. So it's a little bit far over, and then what we'll do it again. Try and get it lined up better this time. So okay, we'll go with that. There we go. So that's, yeah, it's a little bit better. So what we'll do is we'll get the tiger seal and things that just go on these areas and not touch this area. Try and keep it on all of that contact area, so it's got a better seal, and then we're not interfering with this area here at all. So we'll put a cross on that one, so it's not this one here, and yeah, that should be good. We're probably going to use some of this basically, so I'm just getting it lined up now, and then what I'll do is I'll get this marked, cut, and what I have to do is I have to sort of fillet the edges, which will sort of curve these edges, because on the back of it, if you can see, I've only got that part there to play with, so it has to sit within this lip here. Obviously it can go down here a bit more, but it's not quite wide enough, so yeah, I need it to sort of tuck inside of that line so it sits flush. So yeah, this one's going to be a little bit trickier, but it shouldn't be too bad. I'm going to have to sort of do a little bit of cutting, take it off, cut it again, just a little bit of trim here and there, and try and get it to sit nicely in that. And then what we'll do is we'll get some of those other plates cut up and we'll stick it behind the bigger holes. The little holes aren't too bad, but we will we'll stick some smaller plates just behind those holes, just so they take away those relief parts where the Bondo will want to push through, and then that creates a weak spot for your Bondo to break off. So right, I'm going to get that measured up, and again I'll be back when I've that plate all cut there. So that one fits quite nicely in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick that in, and then just get that lined up, and then again we're going to mark it with a pen, because there's a lot less space on this for the tiger seal to go on. So I'm just going to do the same, mark it with a pen, and then this will be my sort of do not sort of go past line, if you like. So as simple as that, nice and easy, just take your time with it. So that's all the space we have to work with around the edge of it, because of the lines that are inside the actual the boot line. Like I say, we'll get a couple of those plates there and just stick it behind the holes, and then just bond them to it. It'll be nice and easy. That'll fill the holes as well with the actual tiger seal. So we'll get that nice and smooth, and yeah, that's how you make sort of how you debadge, you know, your car in a sense. That's how I would do it anyway. There probably is many other ways of doing it, but the problem is if you weld them, the sheet metal on cars are so thin that you'll end up warping the panel, and then you're into more bodywork and probably a new panel if you go too bad. So this is probably, like I say, the safest way to do it, without any body filler getting cracked and actually damaging the existing metal that's already there. So yeah, that's how you sort of basically debadge your car, or you know, if you want that sort of smooth look, that Euro look, that's a good way of doing it basically. So yeah, just make sure you reinforce the back of it with some stronger plate. Make sure the plate doesn't rust, so you can paint it beforehand as well. Or what I'm using is like a galv plate, and it's self-healing, so when it's cut you don't need to worry about the edges. It will completely heal itself over, and there shouldn't be any rust. So and yeah, and then just get yourself some really strong sealant like Tiger Seal, something like that I find works the best. It also creates a good weather tight seal, and yeah, it looks a little bit messy on the inside. I've also got the panel to cover all of it. I might put this back on. I didn't run it before because I didn't have one, which covers all this area here basically, but it's not really going to make much difference to a stripped interior. So yeah, and you only see it on the inside, but like I say, if you've got a full interior and things like that, you can hide it. So yeah, that's how you would do that. I haven't got any Tiger Seal with me unfortunately today. Problem is with the stuff, you have to buy a big tube of it, and it's quite hard to keep the stuff stop it from drying out. So when you tend to use it, it's better to use it on multiple jobs that you need it for, and you can get more out of it basically, because I've had a few now. I've bought them, not used them for a few months, and then they've gone rock hard basically. I've stuck a nail in the end to try and seal them and things like that, but once they've gone, they sort of, the chemical reaction's already happening, and they tend to dry up quite quick. So yeah, the other issue I've got today I want to try and work on is all of this panel here where it's all separated. So I'm going to try and pull this out. I want to clean all this panel section up, the whole back end, and try and give it a lick of paint, or get it ready for paint anyway. So we're going to try and pull this out and go from there on that, and then we'll get those bits sorted out at some point. I've got body filler, I've got panel white, I've got sandpaper, I've got everything else. I just need some tiger seal. So yeah, I didn't really think about getting it before I was doing it today. I didn't think I would be doing this today. So yeah, but it's not a massive rush, and yeah, we'll kick out the rest of it, and then hopefully we can get this car re-MOT'd. I have had some thoughts as well about the paint. I was thinking about repainting the whole car with the compressor, but then a part of me is thinking I might actually go and get a load of Plasti Dip. So I could possibly, I was thinking of Plasti Dip in the car, because it is just a track day car, and that Plasti Dip is supposed to be really durable and quite flexible, and this car can be quite prone to rust. I don't want any like stone chips and things like that getting into the rear arches and places like that when I'm on track days. I'd rather the Plasti Dip took the brunt of the punishment, and then yeah, try and get a colour that matches this red as close as I can, and then we might just Plasti Dip the whole car at the end of the summer, and sort of go from there basically. Let me know it down below in the comments, guys, what you think. I think Plasti Dip is the way to go with this. It should look really nice with it, and like I say, I just want that durability, because this car isn't going to be like a show car. It's not going to be washed all the time, it's not going to be polished. I don't want to be doing all that with this car. This car is merely just to have fun in it. It's a good little track day car, and I just want it to be low maintenance basically, as much as possible. You know, it's all about the mechanics in this car. I want it to drive really nice, I want it to feel really nice, and just dialing it in, getting it as, you know, dialed in as possible for track days, and just making the feel of it really nice. The rear of the car up on jack stands, as you can see. All this was under sealed when I first got the car, when I was first working on it, so it's showing a little bit of wear, but generally it's held up quite nicely. So we could give it another coat as well, clean up any of the surface rust and things like that. So I've tried to pull out this area here, and a lot of it's quite rotten, so there's not much to work with in space here. What can we get to? So I ideally want to get to that bit of chassis leg there, which is completely open. But the problem is this fuel tank's in the way. Hoping this bit's empty, and the rest of it we can just take off. So there's a clip, there's a couple of clips here by the looks of it on the neck. This bolt's completely useless, not doing anything, so it's loose there. So I think it is just sitting on that piece up there. I don't know if there's any bolts back there. So yeah, it would be nice to get this out of the way. You can actually do a conversion with a 1.2 and actually get a filler neck that just goes round straight into the tank. So I might look for one of them, but it will give me a smaller tank and possibly a false reading on the on the tank as well. Do ideally need to take that off, and I haven't got any more clips to put it back together. Need to get the this reserve fuel tank, backup fuel tank, second tank, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so I need to get this off because this is what's basically missing out of the frame, and up here as well is quite bad. But as you can see, the fuel lines for, well, I think they're fuel lines, or they're like airlines, whatever you call them, like bleed valves or something for the tank. I don't know if it's to let it breathe, but yeah, basically we got those off. So that's the end. So just got to push them through the frame rail here, and then we've got the tank here that we're going to try and take out. So the majority of this is taken off. All I need to do is disconnect it at the tank side there, just on that hose. I'm going to see if I can try and get some replacement hoses, because these aren't looking too great. They're fine, but I'd rather change them while it's off if I can. And then hopefully this whole section here can come out, and then we can get a really good look at this whole area. I've also hammered my arches on, hammered the arches on both sides so that they stop rubbing. And then what we're going to do is, this gives us a bit of leeway to actually paint them and get them prepped as well. And this gives us access down here. I'm going to get all these arms wire walled and spray some underseal on them from what I can reach. And yeah, just give all this a bit of protection, and it just gives us a bit of better access without burning the whole car down with the welder. We can get in there and rebuild that chassis leg and clean it all up, and then give it a lick of paint, and then hopefully the car should be alright after that. So basically, so I'm going to try and get this reserve fuel tank off. I don't think there's any fuel in it. I've checked how much fuel's in this car. It's half a tank, so I'm assuming that's all in the main tank, which is just underneath the axle here. I've got a couple of fuel cans outside just in case there is some in this. We can chuck it out and get rid of it, because I think the fuel that was in this is probably like jelly, and some of it is probably a bit of nasty residue in here. And while this is off, and obviously I'm doing all this, I may have a look, like I said before, for a 1.2 Renault Clio filler neck, and we've managed to get that reserve tank out. So it's basically connected to these two lines here, which didn't have any fuel in, so I'm assuming they were either return lines or they're to ventilate the main tank, I don't know. Then you had this line here that went up to the main neck as well, and then I've just undone the clip for that. And then there was one at the back which was attached to the tank there. So I've just got to go and buy a load of these connectors, and then we can put it all back together properly. And then the main tank connection point is there, so I'll have a look, see if I can get another one of these. But generally, yeah, we might have a look as well to see if there is one of the other ones that can go in there, and we can get that bypass, because that is a lot of, well, it's extra weight, it's extra mess, and it hides all these rails which are inaccessible to get to with that fuel tank on. It also hides the rear shocks if you want to get them off. They're a pain in the arse to get on and off without taking that off, so you don't want to be doing that every time. And then it's giving us better access to this arm here. We can clean that up and get that all painted, make that look a lot better. And now we can safely weld all this. I won't be doing it today, I'll probably be doing it another day, because there is a lot of vapour in here, and I'll need to clog that up as well with something, so that we don't get any vapour from that or any sparks going in that. So I'll use like a fire blanket over it, and I'm going to cut out all the crap and angle grind all this back, because as you can see it's really not good, and it's almost down the whole of the chassis leg. So I think I've caught it just in time but I think any longer, if I didn't do this, this whole chassis leg would be gone, and wouldn't be too good for the future then of this car. So yeah, I'm going to reinforce this. I'm going to get these remade up. I'll put some angle down inside this this bar, drill some holes through here, and then spot weld it, the angle to it, and then I'll make up some more sheet metal pieces that'll go over this, and then that'll be all boxed in and ready to go. The two mounts that are actually holding it on have both rusted through completely. So that's the front one, that's there at the front there. You can see there's a nice big gaping hole in here, so it shouldn't be that big. There should be a hole there, but not that big. So yeah, we'll clean all this up and clean this whole chassis leg up and all this as well, all this surface rust. We'll get all this completely done and hopefully we can get it looking like new again. But as for now guys, I can't really do a lot more. Yeah, there's not much else I can do. I don't really want to be using an angle grinder or a welder at the minute, because the fumes are quite heavy at the minute, so I just want it to let it all calm down. There's some spilt fuel over there and just underneath it as well. I spilt a tiny bit, but it's enough, and we've drained the rest of it into a jerry can. There was about 4 litres or something in that reserve tank, and yeah, we'll just go from there. Like I say, you just got to be really careful with this kind of stuff. You don't want to be welding it near any fuel tanks or any fuel lines, because these are all obviously a part of it. These are a part, this is a part of it. So I'll be getting some, like, I've got one fire blanket, I might get a couple, and basically just cover all of this, cover all of the back here, and even stuff one down the tube there, just to stop anything getting in that tank. You're not going to see it, but I do want to just protect it. You know, these chassis rails are completely bare down them, so I'm going to get some of that under seal, get that down there, clean up what rust I can, like I said, and we'll go from there guys. So yeah, if you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe. There's plenty more of these videos about this car, and there'll be plenty more to come. So if you want to see more about this car and how it's going and where it's come from, just go down the videos, scroll through them, watch them one by one. You'll be able to see a load of them, and you'll be all caught up with what I'm doing now basically. So yeah, like I said, leave a like, comment down below guys, and leave your thoughts on how you think I'm doing, what you like of the project, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching guys.